Well, here we are in sunny South Australia with another absolute peach. 1984 Bullnose F100 two-wheel drive. So we bought this sight unseen out of Victoria, and a really good mate of mine, Josh, went and grabbed this absolute gem for me and drove it all the way over here, 9-hour, 10-hour drive, to see if we can give this thing a bargain basement birthday and get it to the point where it can drive 3,000 k's back to Perth. Under the bonnet we've got the absolute Tower of Power 250 cross flow, cross flow. Yeah, I know. Aluminium head and everything. So it's basically a race car, because it has long tube headers and a custom merge collector. It's pretty impressive. So this thing already runs, we know that, but it's running on gas, and gas is for barbecues. So the first thing I'll probably do is see if we've got any kind of fuel tank, fuel system that we can resurrect, because we're going to need that. And then it's going to be about some really budget cosmetic improvements and some fairly basic mechanical upgrades, and yeah, see if we can get this thing ready. We did go ahead and purchase some new wheels and tyres, had them sent ahead. Cheap hot rod front end in the back there for another project coming up. Inside we do have some weight reduction in the floor. We do have a floor pan to put in that, and some nice new carpet if we get that far. So wish us luck. So we're just having a look at the weight reduced areas and making a decision on where to make a cut for that. It's really not too bad up on the toe board. So it's a little bit crunchy at the bottom of the firewall there, but that part's not included in this repair, so might have to do something else with that. She's a bit flaky there. Just been sending some 80 grit around the tub. The tub's pretty clean because it actually had a canopy on it, but where the canopy sat is really crusty. So we're going to get into that with a wire wheel now and then get some rust converter on all of that. Check out this little beauty here. Little ultrasonic cleaner that we've got heating up there, so I can do a carby rebuild at some stage, because I'm only assuming that that carby is absolutely toast if it's only ran on gas for the last 10 years. Who knows if I can even save that, really. So I've just gone around on that tub with some rust converter after all the wire wheeling and 80 grit. So that's doing its thing, chewing away, and then we'll get that cleaned up and mask the tub off. So you can see with the ongoing fuel crisis that we've gone for the Flintstones option. Said, Josh, fix the hole in the floor. Josh, fix the hole in the floor.
No.
And now there's a huge hole in the floor. So got some etch primer in the tub. Just Just about getting ready to mask it off and shoot some Raptor. Rambo Bombardo is still making holes. That's this guy there. Alright, so we've just done some bed liner. Love that stuff, how that tidies everything up. What you got to do is completely ignore the rust holes in the top. That's actually key to this operation, is just to completely ignore that guy. And that guy. And that guy. They're not even there. I like that. Get out of here. Fucking get out of here. Get out of here. Yeah, just hide your
mishap.
No, that's your grab handle.
Yeah, I needed it.
Yep, just using the grab handle. So the tub has been officially turbo canned, and it's definitely a oh, I don't know, hang on a minute, let's take a couple of steps back. Yeah, we'll call it a 10 foot, maybe a 20. Getting the old window tint pulled off the back window. Our old purple stuff doesn't make anything look any good. Josh, he's just about got the driver side floor pan welded in. Ooh, crunchy. So while the tub's drying in the paint booth, we are going to have to bring the brake drums over to our brake lathe, and yeah, machine them and balance them and rebuild them. So we're back, it's the next day, just sort of having a bit of a look at yesterday's progress, and just slipped our new tonneau cover on the back there, and that actually fits really well. The only thing is the little studs at the front are about 15 mil out, sort of working from the center. So just trying to work out for now whether I just clip them on and leave the center one unclipped, or whether I take the time to move them. but at the moment it's not a big priority. So stripping some mirrors off and about to get the sander out and start cleaning up the front half of the cab. Let's get into it. So I've just gone around and dusted some etch primer on that roof. Just got enough masked up because we're actually shooting some black Raptor onto the top of that roof. I just want something to seal it up and save it for when we can get around to actually doing this properly. This is just having fun with cars, and at least we've sanded it, we've treated the rust, we've got some etch primer on there, and now we'll get it nice and sealed up. Good morning. It's day 3 here in SA working on the F100. So pretty big day yesterday, giving that thing the big scuff and shoot and fixing a couple of brake lines and things like that. So it was a really good productive day. So back in here first thing this morning, just ripping sort of what's left out of the old insulation on the floor and giving it a big wire wheel, exposing a few little rust spots. So it's going to go and rust converter that entire floor now, and then we've got a couple of little repairs to do and some seam sealer work before we can get some new carpet in this rig. So come and check it out. So this is all the crap that was coming off inside the cab, just years and years of dirt and fluff and debris. Passenger sides a bit thin in a few spots. So I'm going to get some rust converter going, and I reckon I'll be able to just spot those sections up, and then we're going to re-seam seal and KBS sealer over the entire floor, and yeah, that should keep it healthy for quite a few more years to come. Okay, so just got that outside. The sun will just help set some of that enamel that's on the outside. It's pretty dry, but the sun will definitely help it out. But after wire wheeling and rust treating the floor and just giving that a big coating of KBS, which is basically the same as Pour 15, it's like a rust seal, sets like concrete, it's moisture cured, gives you a nice clean surface to put your insulation and everything down before you carpet. So you can actually step back and have a bit of a look now. Pretty damn respectable for sort of, I don't know, maybe 14 hours work or something so far. Considering it was pretty rough looking a couple of days ago. We're definitely making some progress. The Temu pinstripe. Oh, I want to get some Quad Zero steel wool out today and give those bumpers and grille surrounds a good tidy up, as well as the trim that goes around the windscreen. So yeah, we just keep on keeping on. Coming up good. Okay, so quick update. I've been going pretty hard this morning. Actually bought a carby kit for this thing and even brought an ultrasonic cleaner over because I thought that I'd have to be pulling that carby apart. But after a couple of little mods and some fuel in the tank, the fuel pump pumps and the carby works well. The accelerator pump works, idles. Yeah, we've had a bit of a win there. So let's get all this gas crap out of the way and press on. So she's getting the late arvo, or what is it? No, mid arvo on day 3. Starting to feel it a little bit. Just been under that truck evicting the gas system. Yeah, I'm not down with gas. I really just reckon it's for barbecues. So it's still got the primary tank in it, which is pretty big. Looks probably like it's about an 80 litre tank, so that'll be all right. Now, we did fire it up before and had a bit of a win because the carby actually works really well. Fuel pump died pretty quickly as expected. You know, when a fuel pump diaphragm hasn't moved for 10-15 years and then you decide to, you know, make it get busy, they don't generally like that. So new fuel pump on now. Ran some flush through the radiator, the cooling system. I'm going to do all the heater hoses and radiator hoses and everything next time. Mechanically, this was just sort of more of an overview, but we put a new master cylinder on, set the timing, set the mixtures, got some seam sealer all along some areas that I'd cleaned up and wire wheeled, front and back. The KBS coatings on the floor is just about dry now, so tomorrow we can get some carpet in there. Won't get a big heap done tomorrow though, by the time I pack up tools and everything and have a few hours off. But that's all the hardware from the gas system. That put up a fair fight. And then we evicted the gas tank out the back. And now I'm just going to go through and pull the gas line out that runs from the back to the front. I was going to just cut it off at each end and leave it in there, but yeah, it's probably a bit lazy. So take about 9 billion tech screws out that those gas fitters love to jam into the chassis, and we'll clean it up. Well, it's now late in the afternoon on Easter Sunday. Had to do a heap of stuff off camera then. We had a bit of a win this morning with a carburetor that worked and a couple of things like that, but well, I say we, but I mean I. And then got into some brake lines, and all the soft brake lines I ordered fitted. That was awesome, and the master cylinder fitted. That was all cool. But got to the back and realised there was no brake lines on the back, so I had to make all the steel brake lines. Wasn't expecting that, didn't have flare nuts with me. So Mark was awesome, and there's a heap of old wrecks on the hill here, so just had to go and cut off some Imperial flare nuts, and Mark had some line and a flaring tool, so he made all the hard lines, and they're ready to bleed in the morning. So I'm not quite sure what the time is, but I reckon that's going to wrap it up, so let's have a bit of a look. So that's my big pile of dead brake lines there that have all been replaced. One of the real good things that happened today is we threw the barbecue gas out. So pretty happy to see that out of there. And then showed it earlier, but all the KBS will be dry in the morning as well as the seam sealer. So probably lay some carpet in the morning. Not sure whether I'll have time to secure it all down, but just want to get the seat back in so it's a bit easier to drive. What else? A little bit of body work on a couple of spots. Obviously when we got here we didn't know what we were up against, so didn't actually have any fillers or anything with. But we're able to get some from the local hardware shop, which was awesome. They've got a little automotive section there, so we just make those corners look a little bit tidier than what they did, because I really couldn't do anything with the holes, and certainly not doing any metal work or anything here this time. If we stick to the plan and take it back to Perth, if it doesn't sell cheap and move on, well then obviously we'll restore it properly and V8 swap it, and you know, the things that we normally do. So this is just having fun with cars, man. It's you know, it's not one of our regular builds. It's just hanging out at my mate's place, catching up with family in the evenings and having fun with old cars. So it's going to pack it in today, come back out tomorrow, we'll do a few more little jobs, we'll show some of that hopefully. A bit less pressure than today, but yeah, we've got a heap of tools to pack up, some leftover paints and stuff that we'll load into the back of the ute that can sit here till next time, because next time we need to get into the engine bay. We need to replace a whole heap of crunchy hoses, secure the radiator a little bit better. The bottom mounts just don't seem to be quite right, but you know, we might be able to rig something up just so it's a bit sturdier. Pretty sure the alternator's not charging properly. Not really that fussed. We were going to replace that anyway next time around. Being that this is an air-conditioned truck and it relies on the pulley on the front of that York-style compressor there to run for the belt orientation, I might actually go ahead and replace that compressor, because all the hoses and everything are still in the truck. So I think we might actually be able to get some aircon working, and then when we get back to Perth, we've got to deal with the real ugliness. Rust in the firewall where they all go. So we'll have to come up with some sort of fix depending on the budget and depending on what we're intending on doing with the truck. Obviously if we do a resto and a V8 swap while the motor's out, we'd gut that firewall and replace it all. You know, and it might come to that, but we'll just see what happens with this one. Might just end up being a shop truck, work ute, who knows. Anyway, tomorrow. Morning, last day, day 4. Taking it a little bit easier today. Got a bit of cleaning up to do and get a bit more petrol for the rig so I can put her into storage and get ready to fly back tomorrow. So just heading over the shed now. Had a nice little rain here last night, which is pretty unusual for my old hometown. She's usually pretty dry. Just checking out all the work that Mark's got in front of him. Mark's a diesel mechanic and he's always right under the gun. So we gave the old bumper a bit of a polish up, and the grill surround a bit of a polish up and clean up. Actually come up pretty good. What else has been going on? So a little bit of primer just drying on the bottom of that guard there. A little bit of body work went on there. Insulated the floor, and the new carpet's just going down now. So yeah, coming together. Going to be a good work rig.